Hello and welcome to another midweek predictions of the Championship from the Honest Football Podcast. I'm Craig Savage. With me, as always, is Mr. Daniel Cody. We have 6 games this midweek. It's all catch up as usual. So let's start off with the first game on Tuesday night. It is Birmingham City versus Peterborough United. Birmingham picked up a home win against struggling Barnsley, and Peterborough got battered away from home again. Let's start with Peterborough. They have to win these away games. Birmingham, obviously, near down the bottom of the table. They have to win this one.
I don't even know if they have to win them, Craig. They just have to stop getting beaten heavily away from home. Even if they could start winning their home games and pick up 5 or 6 draws on the road, it might make a difference. But the fact they're losing every game convincingly is so poor. And they were actually good or solid against West Brom for a large part of the game. I know there were 1 or 2 good chances missed, but largely they'd kept West Brom at bay. They'd got to the 75-minute mark, albeit they'd had no attacking threat. They didn't have a shot on target all game. I think they only had 1 shot in total. Then when they let in the first in the 78th minute and they tried to chase a little bit, they just got completely cut open. And obviously it then became 3 late goals for West Brom and a comfortable win for them. Peterborough, as you say, on the roads, they have to find a result from somewhere. Birmingham, maybe would have been the place you could have said before the weekend. Fan protest before the game, fan protest during the game, but ultimately a crucial win against Barnsley. And for Birmingham, it's another season where off the pitch they're a mess and they've just got to survive. And you've got to give Lebo your credit because one of the people he brought in, Ono Hernandez, scored the crucial goal in that game. Scott Hogan getting the other, and they got a crucial 3 points. I think they'll do the same again because I just don't know where Peterborough get the goals from away from home. They've conceded 36. They've still only scored 6 goals, which when you consider their home form is bizarre. So I'm going to go Birmingham to win. I'm going to go by 2-0, and I think it will be fairly comfortable.
Yeah, I don't expect Peterborough to score. Birmingham, they had to pick up points against another team that's also down there as well. A little bit of a nervy ending. Obviously, Barnsley getting that goal back. I'm going to go 1-0. I think it's going to be a tight game, but in the end, I still think it's going to be a Birmingham victory. Right, next up, it's Coventry City. They're at home to Stoke City. Coventry lost 2-1 to Queen's Park Rangers, and Stoke lost 3-2 to Fulham. Coventry and pretty much Stoke as well probably feel a little bit hard done by in those 2 fixtures.
Yeah, some good goals from Stoke as well, by the way. Wright Phillips getting one was lovely to see, and Lewis Baker's goal was an absolute rocket, but ultimately Fulham just had too much. I think they'll be disappointed by the manner in which the couple of goals they conceded. It wasn't Fulham cutting them open, it was sloppy goals. Coventry were, I don't know, QPR, look, they've been efficient all season. They got a late winner. I don't think we can read too much into it. There was obviously a big delay during the game as well, which didn't help. But for Coventry, it's just starting to fall away a little bit. There's not that consistency, particularly at home, that we saw earlier in the season. And after battering Peterborough the week before, you would have hoped they could have pushed on. It didn't happen. And this is now a crucial game if one of them wants to stay in the playoff mix, because that gap is starting to get a bit bigger now, and these games in hand become crucial. Do you know what? I'm gonna bank on Stoke just to edge it, I think, because Coventry haven't convinced at home for a long time in the league, despite their brilliant start. They won their first 6 home games. They've won 1 of the next 7. So for me, it's going to be a Stoke victory. It's going to be close. They don't score many on the road. I'm going to go for the Michael O'Neill special, 1-0.
Yeah, I think this has got a game of a 1-1 draw. Obviously, yeah, Coventry battered QPR. They just couldn't put more than 1 in the net and got done once again by a sloppy mistake. Stoke, I thought Stoke put up a good fight. Obviously took the lead very early. I did say it'd be a tight game against Fulham. I really did. I didn't say it would be easy. But yeah, obviously, they've worked really hard, but as you said, Fulham's quality was enough, and that's why they're top of the table and 8 points clear. Yeah, I'm going to suggest 1-1. I think it'd be a really tight game. All right, next up, Kenilworth Road, Luton Town versus Bristol City. Luton lost 2-0 away at Sheffield United. You was there. And Bristol City won against Cardiff 3-2. Let's start with Luton. Kind of expected 3 games in a week. Let's be honest, you would take 6 points out of 9.
Well, yeah, I think Nathan Jones, the manager, said as much. He left out a couple of key players at the start, which I think was evident. I think there was a lot of talk when Adebayo wasn't in the starting lineup, but clearly fit and was on the bench. So I think Nathan Jones is playing, in terms of Luton, a club that hasn't got a massive resource in terms of which games are the most winnable. Let's try and win 2/3 of them, which is a great strategy if it works. But then when you go down to 10 men with half an hour to go and you're chasing the ball for 30 minutes consistently and getting run ragged, it becomes a little bit of a problem. They need to get some key defenders back. They've missed James Bree at right back at the weekends. I know a few of the fans have got on his back in recent weeks, but you saw the difference in defensive quality between him and Kyoso on Saturday. I'm really worried that the chasing the ball for the last half with 10 men is going to play a factor. Bristol City were in an end-to-end really good game against Cardiff, actually, which I don't think many of us expected. I think you went for 0-0, didn't you?
Seeing the goals, actually, how bad defensively both teams were, I don't know why I even picked 0-0.
Well, I did tell you at the time it was a silly decision, but Chris Martin was just fantastic in that game, took advantage. And Bristol City look all right. Their away form has dropped off. They haven't won an away game for some time. My heart's telling me Luton will nick it, but I'm going to have to sit on the fence because I don't think they will. I'm going to go for Championship favourite scoreline.
Yeah, as I said, the defending for both sides of Bristol City and Cardiff, the goals were pretty woeful, I'll be brutally honest. Well, fair play to them, got back into the game, won the game 3-2. They pretty much, I probably would say they deserved to win that game. Luton, on the other hand, I said they would make changes. They did make changes. I wasn't expecting Adebayo to not start, but I totally understand it. It makes more sense. Obviously, he's going to make changes for this week as well with Reece Burt being sent off. Hopefully Lockyer will be back into the team. Luton are pretty good under lights at the Kenny. I think Luton will win this game by 2-1. Right, next up, it is Nottingham Forest versus Barnsley. Nottingham Forest beat Derby 2-1, which could possibly be the last Brian Clough Trophy game. We'll wait and see on that one. And Barnsley lost again.
Yeah, firstly, Derby are going to survive. Don't worry about that as a club. I mean, Barnsley away from home. It's too late now, isn't it? It's too late. Barnsley are gone. I think it would be fair to say I got a few questionable remarks for predicting them for relegation at the start. But I think we were two of the only people that judged how bad that Marcus Shop appointment was going to be. And although they're showing signs of improvement in their performances now under the new coach, it is too little too late, and it's still not enough. They need goals in the team badly, and I don't see where it comes from. So for me, Barnsley are pretty much gone. I know it's risky to say, but it's a home banker. Surely it's a home banker. I'm going to go 3-1 Forest. Their charge continues. They're almost starting to look like potential playoff favourites now, the way they're playing.
I wouldn't say potential playoff favourites. Yeah, obviously Forest deserve to win. I'm just going to get to Brice Samba. What the hell are you doing?
Madness.
Like, I know it's Housery and it's a local derby, but he should have been sent off. I'm sorry.
I was going to say this because not only did he then go and take the ball off Lawrence as he was running back, push him into the net, then he's pushed him in the face. Yeah. He was very fortunate not to. If that wasn't a derby, if that was just a random game and he did that, I think he would have been gone.
If there was VAR, he would have been sent off. He would have been gone.
It's true.
And then he sprint out 30 yards to deal with Rabel Morrison.
And it was unnecessary. It was the only shot on target Derby had. They didn't look like scoring a side. I don't get the panic after the goal from him, but there you go.
Other than that, yeah, well done them.
They were good apart from that.
They were good apart from that. Barnsley, I feel sorry for them. I really do. Yeah, we said that Barnsley would struggle. I didn't think it would be this bad. But yeah, I'm going to go Nottingham Forest to win 3-0. But the Championship has a mysterious way. Barnsley will probably nick this one 1-0 knowing them. Right, 2 games to go. QPR, they're at home to Swansea. QPR won late against Coventry. Swansea with a 1-0 victory at home to Preston.
Yeah, I think that was your perfect score of the weekend, wasn't it?
It was.
So, look, a good victory for them. I think it's fair to say that Swansea and Preston are probably going to be mid-table sides this year. So to beat one of your rivals while you're on that process of trying to develop and improve your style of play, it's important you get those victories, and they were worthy victors. They had more shots on target, a lot more of the ball. They kept it a lot better, and they created more chances. So good victory for them. QPR, look, they've been doing what QPR have quietly been doing all season. If they win this game in hand, QPR in midweek, they're second in the league. They've been defensively excellent, which we haven't said against QPR for a long time. I know there have been a couple of games that have been really poor, but generally in their runs of winning games where they've gone 4-5 unbeaten, they've not let in more than one in a game. And as long as you don't have many mad moments, you're going to be fine. I always think they're going to have the chance of winning by a goal because, like at the weekend, where Andre Gray scored, like the game before where Charlie Austin scored, like earlier in the season where it's been Lyndon Dykes, Ilias Chair. They've got so many players who can produce that one moment. Ultimately, I think they'll have it again. I think it's going to be another very close game. I think Swansea will probably get caught by QPR, pressing a little bit higher against them when they have possession. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere under the lights at the Key and Prince. I think they're going to press high against Swansea, force a defensive error. They're going to win by 2-1.
I think this has got a Championship's favourite scoreline 1-1 in them.
Ooh.
Swansea getting back into winning ways was impressive. It could be open for QPR. QPR had been stubborn. They were stubborn against Coventry and got over the line. You said they get these little victories out of nowhere. And that is a sign of a good team. But I don't think it will happen. I'm going to go 1-1. And the final game on Wednesday, it is West Bromwich Albion versus Preston North End at the Hawthorns. West Brom won 3-0, albeit 3 late goals in the final 12 minutes. And as we just said, Preston lost at Swansea.
Yeah, Preston, I think the new manager bounces over now after the FA Cup defeat. I know it was a spirited fight back against Sheffield United, but they haven't won in 3 league games. I mean, West Brom are a solid side at the Hawthorns. For whatever we say about them, they're the only team unbeaten at home all season. I know they've drawn a few too many, but they've only let in 6 goals. Everyone else has let in at least 11. They are a very sturdy defensive side at home. I know it's not the most exciting to watch, and I know a lot of the fans are on their backs at times because of it, and their away form doesn't help either. But ultimately, it could be the difference maker, and it's still very close up there. So I think West Brom will win it. Preston, away from home, are a very poor side normally. And Ryan Lowe, I know bar the Stoke game, hasn't really been able to address that yet. So West Brom for me to nick it. I think it'll be tight. I'm going to go for just the 1-0, actually. Just 1-0 to West Brom.
Yeah, I think West Brom will win this game. They are stronger at home. Preston, on the other hand, yeah, they're probably will be a bit disappointed they didn't get anything out of the Swansea game, but West Brom, I think it'll be far too strong for them. So I'm going to go 2-0 to West Brom. Let's have a quick recap what we predicted for this midweek. And we've only gone for 1 away victory this midweek, and that is Cody's prediction of Stoke beating Coventry. Other than that, it's majority of home wins and a couple of 1-1 draws. And those are our predictions for this midweek. Do you agree with us or disagree with us? Let us know in the comment section down below and give us your predictions. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Honest Football Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at HonestFootball3, and we'll see you next time.